Hey guys, welcome to Muscle Memory. My name's Malcolm. Today I'm joined by two maximum males that are modeling a new career for themselves on independent wrestling scene. You can see them in DPW, GCW, reality wrestling, so many other places, and they're flexing their giant muscles. Mansoor, Mason, how are you guys doing today?
You see that muscle
Muscle.
memory? Muscle
You see,
memory?
my
Strong.
only memory is of the muscles that I've developed over the course of my life.
Your viewers, the only memories they're gonna have are these
I'm sure they're
50-inch
basking in all your
pythons.
glory. Huge.
That's
Don't
not
say
our
that.
hey,
That's
don't
not
say
our
that.
thing.
That's not our gimmick.
Oh, sorry,
That's not
sorry.
our
My
thing.
bad, my bad, my bad. Wrong gimmick.
That's my close personal friend Keith's, my close personal ex Retribution mate, Reckoning's husband's
Yes,
catchphrase.
yes, it is. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that one. But guys, how are you guys doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
Life is good. I'm talking to the strongest wrestlers I've ever seen. You guys are absolutely jacked. So far in like your guys like months so far in like this independent wrestling run since leaving WWE, how have you judged like what you guys been doing so far and what you probably have planned on coming up in the future?
Yeah, this weekend we got Deadlock Pro Wrestling on the 20th in Raleigh, North Carolina, and it will be our tag team independent wrestling debut. We're super excited. Wrestling the West Coast Wrecking Crew. Set that up. I think, what was that in December? I don't even remember. Was that in
We
December?
set that
Yeah,
up before our 90 days were up because we're outlaw mud show renegades that do whatever we want.
because we don't follow the rules.
That's amazing, guys.
Yeah, we're excited. It's been great. I've been having a blast. I just finished my second weekend post WWE, and it's been amazing. Basically, what I'll do, and I'm sure Mace does something similar. Or I went and I go did a show, and then I would do a seminar. We do a meet and greet. We've done signings. We basically kept ourselves busy to the point where it's been like the complete opposite of WWE, where you're kind of at the whim of whatever they want you to do. On the indies, it's cool because you're as busy as you want to be or as free as you want to be. So, I mean, we're booked up every weekend until basically May, which is super cool because it's sort of kind of like we made our own opportunities, which
And
always
we've
feels
already
good.
wrestled more this year than we did in all of 2023.
Exactly.
how many matches did you guys have in 2023? People that don't
I
know.
think we stopped. I think we stopped wrestling, or they stopped booking us to travel. God, Brendan, do you remember when they killed the gimmick and we stopped traveling?
So it's got to be obviously the 90 days, right?
So that's 3 months right at the gate.
So that's
Yeah.
3 months. And then we probably weren't traveling for like 3 months before that. I think that's what I've been guesstimating.
I think the last loop we did was Europe. We did Paris, and then we did the Battle Royal that Mustafa won. And then that's when they realized that we were banned from TV. And if we kept getting flown to shows, then they would accidentally put us on TV.
They'd be like, gosh, dang it, we can't have these guys on our television show that we
Those
pay.
dang models keep sneaking onto the show. Gosh darn it. So they took us off travel so that we wouldn't accidentally be put on the show. And I think that was for like 4 months that we were just sitting at home pitching vignettes, filming promo videos. So
So
I
we've
think,
been not wrestling long enough to give birth.
yeah, pretty much.
My goodness, my goodness. But you guys are very busy now, obviously, as you said, booked through May. That's incredible. Mansoor, you're wrestling at GCW in 2 weeks now. Look at me against Tony Deppen. What do you expect going into this? Because they're like outlaw-based wrestling companies. So how do you think fans are going to react to you coming into their promotion?
I am super excited because I think the perception of me is that I'm like this squeaky clean blue chipper, foreign hire. Oh, I'm such a respectful little
But in reality, he had a death match in New York City last week.
I'm actually sort of this grimy, disgusting goblin. Mace, maybe you can describe how I really am as a person, because I think fans have a different perception of me that is not true.
Yeah, people think that he's a squeaky clean, good
Good little
Islamic
Muslim
boy,
boy.
good little Muslim boy. But in reality, he's what the kids call a gooner.
Oh no, I didn't. I don't want you to talk about that. I
What?
just
He's a big time gooner. He's always edging or
no
coping,
no
as they
cope
say in
cope.
AEW. He's
Yeah,
always coping,
yeah.
and I think you're gonna get a great opportunity to see what a disgusting, vile prick Mansoor is.
Wow, prick! I'm really excited to wrestle Tony Deppen because I actually was a fan of pandemic era Ring of Honor. Of course, the original Ring of Honor, but during the pandemic, I actually enjoyed watching Ring of Honor. And Tony Deppen was one of those guys who I enjoyed watching. He's got a great technical style. He's a grimy. He's got that sort of gritty style that I like that I haven't really gotten to show off interacting with in my career in WWE. And it's great because that weekend I get to not only have a singles match against Tony Deppen, but Mace and I go maximum for the first time since WWE when we wrestle Bussy, Alley Catch, and Effie at the Big Gay Brunch. Super exciting. Basically seeing both sides of what I am capable of. My full range.
What we like to say often when we're taking bookings is that we go both ways. So if you want the models, we'll give you the models. If you want us as us, a couple of silly shit posters, then you can get that as well. But yeah, that weekend you get to do both. I don't know why you couldn't get me booked for the show the night before, Mansoor.
Well, I don't want anybody making me look short. That's why.
Okay, well, I'll be doing it literally
I'm gonna look like
less than 20 hours later.
I'm gonna look like the great Khali at these shows, okay? At 6 foot, 210 pounds, I am basically Andre the Giant, okay? I'm huge.
You seem like a massive.
I can't have Mace. I can't have Mace upstaging me at all these shows. Just the ones where I can make money having him next to me.
Of course. Oh, yeah. Mace, you're a pretty big guy. Like I think people forget between like
for you
or being like a model that you're a tall guy. You're like 6'8", I believe, right?
Yes, I am low-key big AF. I'm 6'8". I played football at 325 pounds. I am no longer that. I'm a skinny legend. I've got an 8-pack. And but yes, I am very tall, and especially in these independent rings, I little person everyone else that I'm in the ring with.
Why did WWE have you go face to face with Brock Lesnar when you were a commentator? Because you made Brock look pretty normal sized.
It was an accident. They wanted a big angle for that show. They thought it would be cool to have a moment where I was standing up to Brock Lesnar. And in that moment when Vince actually saw it happen, because we didn't rehearse it. You don't rehearse Brock segments. You just do it live, pal. And he saw that I was looking down at Brock, which Brock's great, but I am a bit taller. And Vince was like, why is he on commentary? And then he sent me back to NXT.
It's ridiculous how much Mace has been punished for being large in that company. After years and years, all you're being told when you're over 6'4" in your life is, oh, Vince is gonna, oh, you're gonna make $1 million. Oh, Vince is gonna love you. And then you have guys like Dijak and Mace who are fighting for their lives in that company. I mean, Dijak, for God's sake, I'm pretty sure he's taking pins from guys smaller than his kids.
Well, Connor's pretty tall.
Connor is pretty tall. His son is very tall.
He's gonna struggle in WWE.
I'm very excited to see what you guys have planned coming up in the near future on as far as like independent wrestling. A lot of the guys that got released around the same time as you have now popped up in TNA, New Japan, MLW. Are we going to see you guys pop up on a TV show in the near future?
Well, the thing we've been saying is that we're not particularly in a rush to shackle ourselves. Obviously, if the right opportunity presents itself, and the right story and contract presents itself, obviously we have 4 daughters between us, 3 of them are mine, but at the end of the day, we're having so much fun right now, even in this first month early on, and we're talking to people obviously as any good businessman would, but we're just sowing our oats right now in this independent market, because I think the indies are going to be so big in 2024. It's so due for a comeback, and we're really excited to be part of it.
We're spreading our seeds, so to speak, and scattering it in as many fields across not just America, but the world as possible. We've got dates. We've already got a date outside the country in Poland, February 3rd.
We're taking a walk to Poland.
That's right. And we've got lots of other dates outside the country that we can't announce yet. We're going all over the place. And I think the last thing we need is to sort of be in a similar situation we were when we were working for WWE, where we found ourselves limited to a single place. Now, what's great about these companies outside of WWE, you have TNA, you have AEW, MLW, New Japan, that offer a certain amount of freedom in terms of where you can go outside of the dates that prioritize their shows. At the same time, I think there's certainly a degree of rehabilitation in terms of how people see us that I think we need to do. In WWE, you're getting paid a shit ton of money, but at the same time, you're not really wrestling in any matches longer than like 7 or 8 minutes on TV. So what we're doing essentially is we're going to each and every territory. We're stealing the show, and we're proving to people that we're capable of much, much more than they think we are. And once we have that image of being these incredible, hardworking, creative wrestlers, now when it's time to negotiate, we have a little bit more to work with in terms of what we have to offer for their companies.
I feel like you guys really leaned into like the whole like male model gimmick, I should say, while you're in WWE. Someone that worked with you guys as well as LA Knight, and he's made it very clear during other interviews that he wasn't a big fan of doing the model gimmick. What was it like working with him behind the scenes?
He was always great. Obviously, that's not the job that anybody wants to be given. And obviously, as soon as he gets the chance to do the thing that brought him to the dance, of course, we don't fault him at all for taking that opportunity, and he's running with it, and he's doing tremendous things. For us, we've never been given the opportunity to just say, hey, Mace and Mansoor, just go out and be Mace and Mansoor. You know, we've always been kind of given things to do, and then our specialty and something that we pride ourselves in is our ability to take some questionable ideas and try and make the most out of it. So obviously for LA Knight, it's working out great for him. But yeah, we leaned into it because we didn't have any other option.
Yeah, LA was super cool because he could have just said no, but he didn't. He tried to make it work. I remember talking about how much Vince was into this idea with LA, and LA was like, yeah, but I don't want to be a manager. Look, I still got a lot left in the tank. And I was like, dude, Vince wanted Butch to be a guy that never wrestles. Vince wanted Butch, Pete Dunne, to just be a scrappy little guy who just attacks people, but he never wanted Butch to actually wrestle a match. Vince saying that you're going to be a manager, obviously you're not going to be a manager. Obviously, eventually you're going to be wrestling because you're a damn good wrestler. You look amazing. You got giant muscles. You're going to get over because you can talk. And these things that Vince says where he's like, oh, you're never going to. Vince wanted us to model and have those modeling segments, those catwalk segments for 6 months. He wanted us
Full
to do
segments.
that. He was so committed to having us do those segments. We did house show loops where we didn't take a single bump. We didn't even have a match. We went out there on house shows doing our model segments. Exact same way on TV where we would just come out, pose. Max Dupree would talk about how much our bulging thighs were rippling and oiled up. And then we go to the back and the crowd would be incensed because why the hell would you have that at a house show? There's no payoff. So they were super into that gimmick. And I said, listen, it's going to change to the point where you are going to wrestle. But of course, things happened the way they did and it worked out for him anyway. But like May said, yeah, we committed because that's kind of what we wanted to show is whatever idea you guys give us, we're going to take it, run with it, make it entertaining.
Certainly, certainly. Mansoor, you're like the face of WWE when they have like their shows in Saudi Arabia. What was like some of your like fondest memories of like going over there, winning the large battle royal, wrestling Cesaro, Dolph Ziggler, etc.? What was your fondest memory over there?
My fondest memories, well, of course, there's when I accidentally took a huge dump in Shane McMahon's private locker room. That's something that I did. Oh, another fun memory is when I was winning the biggest battle royal ever, and I got heat with everyone in the locker room because I didn't shake anybody's hand because Mace told me not to.
This was before I was there. No, this is before I was there to hold his hand and make sure that he was presentable.
Mace said nobody likes it when you shake their hand in WWE. So I
said nobody likes it when you shake their hands at the Performance Center where we're at for 12 hours a day.
I misconstrued the advice. Another favorite memory of mine is when I was wrestling Mustafa Ali. And and like right before the show, they were like, hey, you guys might be on the pre-show. And I was like, no! We didn't make it on the real show, except we were after Edge and Seth Rollins in Hell in a Cell. So we were sweating. We were like, oh, God, are we going to be able to follow this? But luckily, the crowd was into it. You know, it was an amazing experience doing those shows because, well, one, they paid for my house. But two, I got to do a thing in front of my family, in front of my father, who didn't get pro wrestling until he actually saw it. In front of him with his family, with his son in the ring. So I'm happy because the thing I always said in WWE, and people interviewed me because I get a lot of questions from Saudi interviewers saying, hey, you've lived in America a long time. Do you feel like disconnected from Saudi culture? Do you feel like you're representing us in a good way? I was like, listen, the most important thing to me is if I can go in that ring and I can put on these shows and I can show kids and families all over the Middle Eastern region that this is something that you can do if you're passionate and hardworking enough. I want Middle Eastern and Arab parents to be able to see my kid can be a pro wrestler. My kid can be in WWE because somebody that looks like him and grew up in the same culture as him is doing it right now. Because for me, that was not something that I was able to cite as an example of, because when my dad said, hey, that's not something we do, like they treat us like shit. I was not able to say, well, look at this. Look at Muhammad Hassan, who's an Italian guy. Look at Muhammad Hassan. So, yeah, I'm proud of it. I had a great time. I jumped into the arms of my dad and my brother and my my nieces when I won that battle royal. I had the match of my life with Cesaro. Claudio did me a huge favor, putting me over and giving me a match that I get to put as a feather in my cap in terms of, oh, this kid can actually work. By the way, people thought that was my first match ever. They didn't know that I had any wrestling experience. So everybody was even more impressed than they should have been. But yeah, I had a tremendous time going over there. It was always a blast.
Oh wow, even add to that. Well, one of my best friends there, he's from Saudi Arabia. He lives here now. He doesn't watch wrestling, couldn't care about wrestling, but loved watching your matches. So
Oh,
to add
cool.
to that, like, definitely had a very large impact on a lot of people.
Wait,
I didn't even realize.
wait, you are also a part of an African American Saudi Arabian pairing?
Yes, yes, I
Wow.
It's more
We're few
common
and
than
far
we
between.
thought.
so many, man. Mason, in your opinion, do you feel like Retribution would have worked in front of like a crowd instead of maybe just in the Thunderdome?
The thing is people ask if something will work. Anything will work if you push it hard enough. If you push something for 4 years, it'll work eventually. I've always been fascinated by the alternate universe where Retribution didn't happen in the Thunderdome, just because I feel like, at least as a performer, we could have adjusted or pivoted in certain directions based on how the crowd was reacting to us. If they thought we were scary, then we could have played that up. If they thought we were goofs, then we could have played that up, because the Retribution concept is so fantastical, but also so nebulous and so nothing, that it really could have been whatever, the show called for. We could have been Power Ranger villains. We could have been anarchists. We could have filled whatever niche they needed. So yeah, I fantasize about the universe where I actually did get to become the Black Cane, and the crowd loved me, and I got to use pyros when I did my hands thing. But yeah, it is what it is. It's with a lot of things in WWE and in life, it's always about timing. So our timing just wasn't. Our timing was that we were going to be in the Thunderdome.
Here's what I don't understand about Retribution and the way that people remember it, right? These guys come out there and their segments always did crazy big numbers on YouTube. And really during the Thunderdome, that's all you can really look at in terms of what audience engagement is. Of course, Twitter's bearing it, everybody's bearing it. When you look at these segments where Retribution is with Bray Wyatt, or Retribution is with the Hurt Business, I mean, that segment where Retribution's in the ring and Hurt Business comes out, they take off their suit jackets, they take off their Rolex watches, and they start going at it. Those kinds of segments were awesome. I would even argue that that Retribution kind of really enhanced and made the Hurt Business look like this amazing faction that it
I'll
was.
take credit for that.
Absolutely, you should take credit for that. And they would always do big numbers on YouTube. People were really interested. There's a reason why Mace always sells his action figures when we do meet and greets.
Yeah.
Because people love the look. It's so interesting and unique, and it's such a throwback to that era of wrestling where guys look like monsters and they have these masks. So I don't really think it got a fair shake. I remember when Mustafa turned and joined the Retribution and was
that was also a really big moment for us.
Was getting huge numbers as well. And I truly believe that they were kneecapped by the fact that it's an era of the company where if CM Punk came up nowadays, he would never have been able to do the pipe bomb, because I remember Mustafa being told explicitly, your stable is designed to destroy WWE from the inside out. You hate WWE, but in your promos, you can't bury the company. You can't say WWE is bad. You can't say anything about WWE being evil. You can't bury Vince. You can't talk about management, but you want to destroy WWE, but you can't say anything bad about it. Creatively, it was such a handicap that they weren't able to deliver the actual thesis of the group. And for that reason, it was never going to succeed, because it was never set up to succeed.
And even if you look at the people who are involved in that group, it's like excellent people from top to bottom. You look at Mustafa is obviously setting the world on fire right now. Dijak is having match of the year every time he has a match. Shane Haste is, burning the house down all over the world, and especially in New Japan. You have me, who's very handsome. Mia Yim, who just had that awesome match against Io a couple of weeks ago. The pieces for an all-time faction were really there, and unfortunately, we just didn't get that shake.
I guess even like to wrap this up, you guys are obviously coming back as a tag team. People are very excited to see what you guys have in store. What can fans expect from you guys as a tag team during this run on independent wrestling scene?
You get to see us wrestle, actually. The hardest thing for us is we were coming out of our 90 days And we were like, oh, we should put together some like videos, some like highlight tapes of like our tag team stuff and the stuff we did. And little did we not realize is that all of our matches were house shows. Like the only matches that we had that went longer than 3 minutes were house show matches. We had very little footage of us actually doing moves and
all the
doing the stuff that we do.
All the footage we had was us getting our ass kicked.
Yeah. So what you get to expect now, what you're going to see this Saturday at DPW is moves from Mace and Mansoor. We're going to do our moves, any one of them.
Moves with a Z. That's how serious we are about this.
Yeah, we're gonna do so many moves. We're gonna be moving all over the place.
You better believe Mace ain't protecting his size. He's taking all kinds of moves too. It don't matter that he's 6'8".
I'm gonna take moves. I'm gonna give moves. I'm gonna do a flip.
We're gonna have like 15 false finishes. Oh, you're not even gonna believe it. It's gonna be fucking
Terry
5
Taylor
stars.
is gonna disown us. It's gonna be so sad when we get a call from our uncle Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster, and he's gonna be like, "Frick,
boys, what are you doing? You're killing the business."
business.
Yeah, we're killing the business. Let's do it,
guys. This is
the killing the business tour.
This has been great. I feel like your guys' chemistry is on fire. I understand why you guys are a tag team. I truly believe that this is going to be a great run for both of you guys. You've been very generous with your time, and I greatly appreciate it. Where can they find you on social media? They're not already following you.
Manny, you start because I got to do more.
All right, so I'm on all socials as Suave Mansoor. That's SUAVEMANSOOR. You can find my link tree in my bio with all of my merch, as well as our merch, my Cameo, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. Yeah, and we also stream, but Brendan can talk about that.
Yes, you can find me on all social media otaku, specifically on twitch.tv/greatblackotaku, where we stream at least twice a week, sometimes 3 times a week. They're very entertaining streams where we tell stories like we told you today. And you can also buy our merch at foryourwear.com/MXM. Our Kids Next Door shirt is selling like hotcakes. And guess what? We're dropping a new shirt this week so that you can pick it up next week at the GCW show at the Wrestle Rumble pickup, right?
No, that's not a GCW show. It's Mega Rand show.
Well, no, yeah, but it's all together. It's
all together. It all blends together.
It's all blends together when you're booked and
what
blessed
he's saying
as us.
If you buy our shirt and set it for pickup, if you live in Florida and you go to Tampa, or if you're in town for the Royal Rumble, buy one of our shirts, set up for pickup, and go to Mega Rand's Wrestle Rumble show, and you will be able to meet us and get a free signature and photo op just for the purchase of one shirt.
And Mansoor might even touch you.
And I might even touch you.
Guys, what a deal. What a deal.
In an appropriate way. With consent.
Of course.
Consent.
I'm pretty sure that was assumed, but it's good to say out loud just to make sure for anyone that
it's very good to say out loud.
Yeah, it's very good. Very, very good. But guys, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. Guys, my name is Malcolm. This is Muscle Memory, and we're out.